seasoning briskets.
We are seasoning briskets. It's so weird that you come out with. Yeah, so we're definitely seasoning briskets. We just got through kind of putting some out, a trimming video, also an injection video. So if you get a chance, go back and look at those. Yeah, today is all about seasoning, right? So I personally, we like to layer. I'm a layer, right? So I like to take a lot of different seasonings, put them together. I don't like to take one master rub. And maybe it's just me, I don't know. But
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think you lose a little bit, because some of these so-called brisket rubs that are out there, for me, just doesn't have enough maybe salt, or doesn't have enough garlic, or doesn't have enough of some other seasoning. So we do like to kind of layer the seasoning, and I think what Jan was saying, just kind of throw a base layer of seasoning on there, come back with another one, maybe another one as well, and then we'll kind of give you a rundown of what we season at home. So some of these things do not have labels on there. We're not trying to be all cloak and dagger and not really share what we're going to do, but this right here, great rub, is the Dawn Brisket Rub from Pitmaker. And then this right here is a little Holy Cow from Meat Church. Super awesome rub. And then just super secret special garlic powder and black pepper.
boom, award-winning rub right there.
Award-winning.
So when I go to rub, of course you have your front or your top of your brisket, the one that was less fatty, right? So not your fat cap side. I actually start with the fat cap side. So if I cook typically fat side down. So I'll rub that first, and then I'll flip it over, and then I'll rub the top, because I want to be able to basically just pick it up and set it right on the pit the way it should go. I don't want to keep moving it back and forth.
So are you going to use a binder to put the seasonings on?
No, so typically I probably would use a binder. Today we're not using a binder, just because we just got through doing the injections. This thing is plenty moist, got plenty of moisture on there. The seasonings are going to stick. If not, yeah, I'd probably use a mustard or an olive oil or something to help bind these seasonings to the meat. Mm-hmm. So,
do you think it plays a difference as far as seasoning the meat and putting it on the grill, or maybe possibly seasoning it the night before and just let it sit in the fridge? Do you notice the difference between the two?
I prefer letting it sit in the fridge. I think you anytime you have your seasonings marinating overnight, I think you're going to get way more of a flavor into your brisket than you do by seasoning and throwing right on. I guess there's also a method like you season, you put it right on right then, or you season and then you wait 30 minutes or an hour for that pooling to start happening. And what happens is the salt is really kind of pulling the moisture from the meat. Then the salt seeps into the meat and then does basically what you call like a reverse osmosis, right? So then it pulls that seasoning down into your meat. So the longer it sits, the more you're going to get. Now, one thing I will do is if I put it in the refrigerator overnight, I will come back the next morning and I will probably have a lot of juice sitting out and everything else, but I will personally hit it just one more time with something, maybe like an AP rub, and then it'll go right on. So that's kind of a personal preference for me. But yeah, I typically think that if you're letting it marinate, you're gonna get better. Mm-hmm. So let's go ahead and get this thing seasoned up. So again, for me, I start with the fat side of the brisket. First rub, I think if you're not using, we talked about this on the podcast, salt enhances, pepper changes, right, the flavor. So, which I think I learned that by reading, I read an article or something. So I'm just gonna get a good little base of pepper on here. This shaker's not the best, so I'm trying to be even with it. You don't like pepper, right? And then the garlic. I think if you're not using garlic as a rub by itself on your brisket, you're making a mistake. I think every brisket needs to have, even though the seasoning you're using has got garlic in there, I think you need to be putting garlic on there. Also, you want to make sure you hit the sides. What was this, James?
It was a Holy Cow.
Holy Cow from Meat Church. They got some great seasonings. But again, also when you're seasoning, try to be consistent, you know, about how far you're moving back and forth. You don't want to waste it or anything else, but you want to make sure you're putting a good amount of layers. So I'll start seeing how it's coming out, and then I'll slowly move. And right there, you can see the color changing as we're going through this. And I know this rub's got pepper in it, but hey. Again, on the sides. You want to make sure you're putting the seasoning everywhere you're going to have bare meat there. Something else that you heard back in the day was like people rubbing their brisket, and it's rubbing, right? So you literally start rubbing your brisket down. I do not do that. I am typically we'll have a spray or something, and we'll apply a pat, push the seasoning down into the fat or to the meat. But I typically do not want to rub these things together. How they go on is how I want those things to be, how these seasonings want them to be flavored.
And I think I misspoke earlier. This actually is JP's AP. I think we have the brisket, Don Brisket over there from Pitmaker over there as well. Do you want to, let's set him up a little bit of the JP AP.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Let's tell him a little bit what's in it.
Well, I would do that. I don't know if I can remember everything off the top of my head. One of the big things I use for this that I think is a balancer, and it's got a little cumin, it's got a little paprika, it's got, I think the key to this was a little celery. I think the celery just kind of plays a big portion into this rub, and you definitely taste it. So this is almost like just a little bit of just a finishing rub right there. But again, you can see how much seasonings we're putting on here. We're not trying to be like just a little bit of rub. Like we're putting quite a bit of rub on here.
We're being pretty liberal with it.
That's right.
And for the folks that are following along, listening, check out the website, grabbingthebrisket.com. It has ingredients on how to make the JPAB rub.
That's right. Boom. Man, that looks good. Look at that. Hey, flip and repeat. Again, lightly just push the seasoning down in there. Don't rub it. Don't do that. You're going to mess up all the hard work you just put together on that.
We'll start caking it.
Again, I know you see the pepper. I'm putting a light little layer on here. I'm not putting a whole bunch of pepper on here. A lot of rubs have it already, but just for me, personal, I like that first rub to be a pepper sitting on top of that meat there.
Does it matter going with the maybe finer seasonings first and then work yourself up to the coarser seasonings?
Well, I think with maybe it does. I think that your finer seasonings will probably render faster, and as you start pooling, those are more apt to probably get into the meat first. Garlic is a super ground garlic right here, so this is about as fine as you're going to get. It comes out really fast.
Would you say that, I mean, if you're not putting down a layer of garlic on all your meats, I mean, wouldn't it be, do you typically do that?
Yes. Yeah. I think that's the one thing people forget about. They think, oh, it already has, I saw the ingredients, it already had garlic in there. The amount of garlic that I think you want, at least for a piece of meat this big, you're going to want to put a layer of that down by itself before anything. And again, this Meat Church, Holy Cow, man, it's hard to beat that one. And we already hit the sides earlier, so I don't have to worry about them now. Again, we're just gonna go right over top of this thing. Uniformity, right? Is that a word? If it's not, we're putting it on a shirt.
I think you just made it up word.
Boom. Look at that.
That looks good.
Doesn't it?
So we're just gonna let that sweat for a few minutes, and then we're gonna pop on the smoker and get this bad boy starting to cook.
Hey, appreciate you tuning in. Again, like that, hit that smash button. What is it called?
Yeah.
Smash that button, that like button. Yeah, I'm new to this. But yeah, check out the other videos, and then hopefully we'll have some maybe a wrap.
Yeah,
and
more of
then-
like a progressional video on how it's cooking, the wrapping, the trimming, and then the favorite part, eating it.
Eating it. Hey, thanks a lot.
Bye, guys.